Good evening and welcome to Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. This is Angie, the Undeniable Vixen, your host, and we have some great guests and lots of things to discuss. So I don't want to belabor the time, and let's get into some news. So first up, we have please remember, if you did not get the opportunity to vote early voting, tomorrow is your day for your voice to be heard. Make sure that you over I can't over insinuate and over um I guess explain how important this is to go and vote. Overwhelm the polls with your vote. Overwhelm them. So that's all I got to say. We'll see how it shakes out on Wednesday or later. So we have a little bit of sad news. It is with heavy hearts that we share the news that our brewery closing sometime during December. The exact date is TBD. As many of you know, the brewing industry has faced tough challenges, and despite our best efforts, economic pressures and a drop in patronage has made it impossible for us to keep going. We're making this announcement early because we want to give you all time to stop by for a final visit, enjoy a beer, and celebrate with us one last time. We'll also be hosting a few special events leading up to the closure that you don't want to miss. We are incredibly grateful for the support, laughs, and good times that you've shared with us over the last 3 years. Let's make these couple of months a memorable one. Arctic Circle. This is a friend of the show. I am very sad that they have to close their doors, but this is, as he also said, this is not goodbye forever. This is just goodbye for right now. And hopefully he will bounce back and we'll see them once again. So then this weekend, I did a little bit of smoozing with Chefs for Farmers. One thing that I love to do is go and hang out go and volunteer and hang out and volunteer for this ticket, which is basically Chef Farmers is like $175 ticket. But if you go and volunteer a couple of hours, you get in free. Who does not love free? So I went and hung out, had some lots of drinks, lots of food, lots of nibbles, and really good things. One of the things that I had that I really liked was some lamb skewers. That was really great. Had a caviar donut. Wasn't impressed with the donut, not the caviar. The caviar was fine. It was the donut that I didn't like, and something that was supposed to be like pig's tail, which if you know you black and southern, you know what pigtails look like, but it looked like pork belly. It was fine. And then they had some little microgreens. They were trying to do something, but eh, overall, it was still very good. So we have some exciting news from Lipco. We are thrilled to share Lipco, Liquid Intrusion Brewing Company, and Forward Brewing the release of Maryland Maverick, a double IPA crafted to celebrate Governor Westmore's dedication to forging a dynamic new future for Maryland. Originally a limited taproom release at Ford Brewing last year, this bold brew will reach craft beer lovers all across Maryland and DC as a limited release and distribution. That's incredible. So, Maryland Maverick, a vibrant, hazy double IPA brewed with wheat oats, double dry hop, blended mosaic indigo, African queen, southern sublime hops, resulting in a refreshing but yet robust beer with tropical and dank blueberry aromas. Sounds delicious. So Andrew Dill, Lipco co-founder, explains the liquid captures Governor Westmore's progressive spirit and Maryland's culture. We're proud to offer the liquid that not only refreshes but inspires. Co-founder Jasmine Dill also adds, our partnership with Forward Brewing has allowed us to expand this fantastic liquid from a local exclusive to a limited release. And this beer goes out at 8% ABV, and it will be available in 60-ounce cans and available on draft, featuring this artwork as you see there. And it will be available at the Brass Tap in Baltimore. And they're going to have a VIP tour at, I guess, during the Baltimore Beer Festival. Oh, this was something that he sent out. So I guess it was a festival that they had this weekend. So I know Wes Moore, not only him being governor, but I read his book many years ago called The Other Wes Moore, where it was basically the same name, but two different uh walks of life, and how, how his road was a road diverged, like the Robert Frost poem. So it was really interesting. If you haven't read the book, that's really a good book to read. Congratulations to Lipco, Westmore, and Ford Brewing. So just wanted to also let you know that CBP is coming, Connects is coming. Just wanted you to know that MB2A is going to have the State of the Black Brewer during this talk December 10th through 12th in San Diego. If you are a member MB2A, there may still be tickets that you can get for discounted coverage to go to CBP. So check with your emails because they sent an email out, and you can see how you can get your way to San Diego. Then I also want to do a congratulations on put my Pink Boots hat on and congratulate our recent board members that have been elected. We have Alana, who is part of MB2A, uh, Leah Garcia, she is out of San Diego, and then Sarah Riel out of the Boston chapter, which is a part of Hot Plate, and she's also on our DEI committee for Pink Boots. So congratulations. I love seeing people of color coming in and making these different boards more diverse and being that beacon of showing diversity at work. So then we got our alarm quote from Jen Price with Credit for Action. It is here. It's ready to save the dates between June 18th through the 22nd, online and in person. Also you can if you want to have a panel online or in person or a workshop, those are open, as well as sponsorship. She's looking for that as well. So last thing that I wanted to do is I want to bring up some friends. Here we go. Got Amani, and we have um Pearl Burnell too. And y'all did something really incredible. So tell us about Homebrew Day.
But no, you want to kick it off, or you want me to do that?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
All right. The association, the National Homebrewers Association, or American Homebrewers Association, put together yearly around like the first week of November. They put together a Learn to Homebrew Day. It's a day designed for homebrewers, but also for professional brewers alike to learn how to go about the process. And for those of you who may or may not be familiar with our organization, the Melanated Matchmakers, we are a Black homebrewing club in the state of Delaware, and much of our interest and mission is to help to educate, to empower, and to amplify the voices of people of color who are interested in the homebrewing process, as well as within craft beer. So for the Learn to Homebrew Day, last year we paired up with our local homebrew shop to put together a shared beer collaboration. This year, we had another local homebrew club in our state reach out to see about a collaborative opportunity. So we set up a variety of different homebrewing setups. So everything from all-in-one kits, all-in-one homebrewing units, to an extract recipe kit, to a 3-tier system or bench system. So we used a variety of systems in order to show and introduce people to the home brewing techniques, as well as the home what it's like to be a home brewer, and hopefully get more people interested and engaged in that process. So myself, Vernell, and our members of the Melanated Matchmakers, we used our all-in-one unit, as well as we used a traditional outdoor burner and propane with a pot and everything in order to do an extract kit. And we also brewed up a barley wine. Those, two of them you can see in the picture. So the barley wine and the West Coast IPA are the two that we put together.
Nice.
I
That's
went
nice.
I wanted to quick share that barley wine is actually Vernell's interest and inspiration. So I want to give him a moment to kind of shine on that and talk a little bit about that barley wine if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, we made it a year ago on that Saturday, so it was good to get back to it. Me and Amani, I spoke about it a little while ago. We wanted to make something different, and I'm big on the bigger beer, so I was like, "Hey, let's try a barley wine." And he was like, "All right, I'm on board." And he's the brew master, man. He's good at doing that thing. So he made up a recipe, and it came out great. So we just redid it and got to show people that were new brewers and new people that we met and show them how we do things. So it was a good time, man. It was a good time sharing knowledge and seeing other home brewers in action. So it was a good time.
So is this barley wine golf ready?
Is it what?
For sure. Oh, I got 2 cans over there from last year. Yeah, it's gonna be golf ready for sure.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much. And the so this last weekend was it's like the national home learn how to home brew, right?
Yep. And they do it.
Yep.
They do another one that usually around May called Big
Yeah.
Brew Day.
Big brew day. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Well, I really appreciate y'all coming and sharing because y'all are who I look to when it comes to home brewing and making excellent uh, beers and showing people it's not as hard as they think. And if you are able to clean up and, you know, not scared to make mistakes, that you can do it and you can have something that you can get on the golf course with or watch the Phillies with.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
I just think fast. I think fast. You know I don't do sports. No, I don't do sports.
That's all
So
right.
thank
That's all right.
so thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We appreciate you having us on. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
So that is it for our news. So let me go ahead and add our guest. Hello. Hello, Jerry.
Hello, hello.
And there he is. There's Tony. Well,
Let me
okay.
take myself off mute first. And
So,
if you're wondering why the cabinet doors open, it just got painted. That's why.
well, I wasn't looking way up there, but I thank you though. Now
Absolutely.
I'll be looking at it, but I'll wonder if the paint's dry.
Yeah. Give it a couple days. It'll be dry.
I see it right there.
So, okay.
Hey, to start real fast, you said something, Angie. I felt bad because I'm black and southern, and I don't know what pigtails look like.
Why am I not surprised?
Wait a minute now. Hold on now. Wait a minute now. Just being real. I didn't know that
Have
was
you seen it? Yeah, that's
I know pig feet.
no, the tail.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Um, my mom, she still likes eating them. So she would have been real disappointed when she saw that because I was really looking for like the tail looking with the bone and it's really not a whole lot of meat to it. It's
I didn't
more
think it would
fat.
be.
It's more fatty.
Interesting.
It's just
Okay.
like it's a nonsense kind of meat. If you
Okay.
even want to call it, something to eat. I wouldn't call it something to eat it, but on some Sunday dinners, that's what was had.
Yeah.
And I had something else. That was a
Okay.
substance.
Right on. Okay.
So let's see. Let's just get started. Let's just go ahead and just get right into it. Modern Brews and Beats, Jerry, J.W. Richard, Tony Dunn, who Tony D. Let's see. I guess the first thing I want to find out is Tony, how did you trick Jerry into being your friend? And how have you been keeping this mirage going on? Because I know he knows it's you. So how
Hmm.
did this happen?
How did it happen? I like to go over the story in my head all the time. I have to give my credit for one. I When I first followed Jerry under NTX underscore beer, I was like, this guy is what I want to be in the craft beer game, and
Mm,
I just followed him, stalked out his Instagram, end up talking to him, and he introduced me to Victor Santana of formerly of Dallas Beer Talk.
mhm.
The regular, he was a regular on the show. Um,
Mhm.
this, um, After being on Dallas Beer Talk, he knew I had a strong love for music. He said, "Man, you and Jerry need to. Jerry loves music too. Y'all need to talk. Y'all need to get something going." And so I give my credit where credit is due for Jerry even agreeing to do a podcast with me because I didn't know craft beer, and I still say that I'm still not necessarily green when it comes to knowledge, but
Mm.
um, definitely a lot better now where I am as far as the knowledge of craft beer and the craft beer world. Being around Jerry, being around you, this undeniable Vixen, and all the other just the plethora of people that I've met in this craft beer world. But the second part of the question, how do we keep this thing going? Shit, we love music. We talk music. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. As you can tell in our segments that we do about music on the show. So that's how
Okay.
we got it going. That's how it's going. I mean, 200 plus episodes, man. We're kicking butt right now.
And I must say that you, I know when we first started, you were very much saying, okay, I don't really know a whole lot about beer. Each year as you we've talked to different people, you gain knowledge, and we had an episode recently with Carlos, who's a Dragon Master 214 on Instagram, and you know we've talked about just ways that you have been growing in your own beer knowledge and using your words. What are you tasting? All those different things like that. So, and music and beer. I mean, I was already ready to get back into podcasting because I hadn't done a podcast since 2005 to 2010. It was a show called Metro
Mhm.
Radio, and I was ready to get back into podcasting and take some of the beer knowledge I had and a love for getting some of those local stories, and that is where things just got started. So knowing that you also had a passion for music, which anyone who knows me, beer and music are passions of mine, and not just in listening to music but also performing and stuff like that. So it was really good to sort of bring that to light. Even the whole JW Richard, because a lot of people knew me before when my father was alive. It's funny because my father's birthday would be November 6th. So we're not very far from that particular deal. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I would just go by JW Richard because I'm a junior. And so I just didn't want to always put Richard Jr. on there. So it was easy.
Okay. So, Jerry, I want you to think real far back. What was the first beer, or do you remember the first fermented spirit that you had? Do you recall?
So the very first one. Now, and also back up. The very first fermented product I had, or the first craft beer I had. Just make sure.
If whichever one you know can recall, because some
I
people
don't.
can't recall either.
I can recall both. The very first, because I was a I guess I got started later in drinking, which it's weird when I felt kind of ashamed of that when I first started, but now I'm like, I don't know why. I didn't start drinking until I was 27, 28. And
Okay.
so it was a Zima. So
Hmm.
Wow.
that was the very first
So do
like
you remember what you know what that is?
I have a lot of cousins. Yes.
oh those malt beverages. But it's interesting. It was actually my love for music that brought me to my first craft beer because I didn't know what an Abbey Ale was, or this Belgian
Okay.
golden this Belgian strong ale. And it was Brother Thelonious with North
Yeah.
Coast Brewing, and of course, seeing Thelonious Monk on the bottle, I was like, "Wait a minute, what is this? I really want to know what's going on." And it sort of led to a whole weekend of enjoying, like going back through Thelonious Monk music and drinking that stuff. So yeah, that was the first one, and then I can't remember if I remember my first local to Dallas Fort Worth anyway beer. Hmm,
Honey, do you
yeah,
remember?
that's huh.
Do I remember?
Hmm.
Gosh, yeah. Some of my early stuff, you mentioned Zima. Some of my early stuff was Smirnoff Ice, which, by the way, is still refreshing. I will pop one open real fast and cool
I
down.
mean, Smirnoff Ice is in the same family as Eczema. Those types of beverages, those
Yeah.
types of malt beverages. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. One of my it was actually cider that got me into craft beer, and one of the early ciders that
Okay.
I drank was towards the end of college for me. By the way, go Mean Green. Have a good season, guys. Good season.
Mm.
See, we go start. We'll turn into sports here in a minute, Angie, on being black and craft. We will. Um, it was a
Uh-oh.
woodchuck cider. That was one of the first. That was one of the first beers. I guess in a way, it was a craft beer. I was like, damn, this beer tastes like apple juice, and it blew my mind. Blew my mind. I went down that rabbit hole, and that led me to like Austin East ciders because I just wasn't big into beer besides Bud Light at that time. Every now and then there was a bar I used to go to in Denton called Sidebar. It's no longer open. It's one of my go-to places. But it was I used to drink the Ziegenbach, and I loved a good Ziegenbach, um, especially when it warmed up a little bit. And it was a little cold. I just wasn't a fan. When it warmed up, it was really good. You could really taste all the flavors. But those were the early ones. But when I ventured off of cider, was around the time where I was really doing this is man pre-kids at this point, and um, Petacola's Golden Opportunity was
Okay.
one of the first ones. I was like, oh damn, like okay, this is a thing now. Like, what is a beer brewery? And then I just whew, I jumped on Instagram because I just wanted to take pictures of it. I needed a way to track it, and that's how it all happened.
So y'all are what I don't want to, it's not bi-coastal, but y'all live in two different states and y'all are both podcast phenoms. When the first call came in to Tony calling in, Jerry said, "Hey, I'm about to be out." What did you think? What did you think if this was over with, or how were you going to pivot? What were the first initial conversations of when you found out? I'm gonna pack up the truck and move to Beverly.
It's a cool
Well,
story, so I'll let Jerry explain it. This is it, man. It was a cool story.
well, I will say that I am thankful for that reason as well as other ones, as we would later find out in the 2020s, that we began the show because when we started, we were just on two different sides of Dallas. He lived more North Dallas, and I was in Oak Cliff. And so um, we began remotely. And so we were going through a lot of different, we've used StreamYard, Skype, other things like that. And so I'm glad that we started remotely because it wasn't a strange thing to go remote then. And so that's why I'm glad we started with that. But if anything, at first I was thinking, okay, well, I would love to, do a few more things locally, a few more events locally, and those things will happen, and we just have to plan them a little bit more. Plus, you know, I'm a man. I'm more of a pet dad, so I have a lot of pets. Tony, on the other hand, has got some young men he's raising, and that it already was going to be something totally different. So I was happy for him being in a place that was good for him and his family, and we were just going to keep it going. If anything, it made us think about how we could stretch the trajectory of the podcast for just not just Texas stories, but also stories in Arkansas. And so, like that latest podcast we did with Delta Dirt Distillery, it was really an opportunity to tell a rich story in Arkansas. We've talked to other breweries as well as coffee roasteries, and they're in Arkansas, and we'd love to get some more distilleries on as well. So I like telling that regional story, which also kind of goes back to music, because while we love music, if you really want to get Tony popping as far as like hip hop stuff, talk regional. If you're in, because he's really big into regional hip hop, Southern hip hop, but I think it's more than just Southern. I think he likes the regional story of the artist all around. So the more we can get those regional stories of breweries and distilleries and coffee makers and the individual things that they do, it actually makes it kind of fun, where you can, just really get something that's local. Podcasting for the most part is local anyway. I think too often we hear about, and that, with your show, uh, being Black and Craft, you're always covering, of course, our Black influence in music. So of course that's gonna go all over the place where we have breweries around.
Mm.
But there's something about getting that just that unique corner, kind of like it's kind of like the story you get when you're near a local dive bar or a local haunt that you go to, and you go like, man, you know what? I really like this because it really kind of gave this feel and this feel, and kind of reminds me of this area. And if I ever come back to
Mhm.
this area, it reminds me of this. That's the kind of stuff we want to. Those are the kind of stories we want to talk about, and those things like that. So, I pretty much took the 610 move to go down Westheimer, but that's why I was answering as far as the whole thing with when he had to leave. I of course I was going to miss him because I wanted to do more things here, but I think it actually opened up more opportunities for stories.
Yeah,
Make sure
for
that the
me.
audience also knows, just for 1 second, Tony, that
Mhm.
Modern Brews and Beats, um the brews are going to be, it's going to be not just beer, but it could be coffee as well,
Sure,
or
anything that can be brewed.
Mhm.
anything that can be brewed.
Mhm.
So go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna piggyback off what Jerry said. Um, One of the biggest things that helped me, whenever my wife and I decided to leave Texas during the I guess it was during the pandemic, was okay. I'm one of those people, and my wife tells me is I get comfortable sometimes, and if I was there in Dallas, I would be honestly, I would put Jerry in front of me as the face of Modern Brews and Beats. Here in Arkansas, I have to be the face of Modern Brews and Beats because that's all that they know. So it gave me the
Hmm.
opportunity to really market the show myself, which I've done. Um, we have cards. I know I got all the links. I can, and then when Jerry travels for work, I travel for work. I'm able to grow the show. And I stole that mantra from Ben and Skin, grow the show, but it's actually true. And being here in Arkansas allowed me to grow that hey, I do have a uh, craft beer and craft beverage and music show called Modern Brews and Beats, and they know Tony. Tony does that, and they never met Jerry. So I am Modern Brews and Beats to them, and it just gave me the
Mhm.
opportunity to get out of not necessarily get out of Jerry's shadow, because I know if I was in Dallas, I do this to this day. Every time I'm in Dallas, just go name drop Jerry. I'll get a beer, easy, easy. But now I don't have to, because
You can
they
just
do
name
know
drop
cool
yourself.
they do know cool Tony D. So that's pretty dope. Um, so yeah, no, it's been really cool being able to, I guess the word is market the show, but definitely just be able to be proud of it here in Arkansas and have we grew a whole new audience up here, just
That's good.
from the people I've met here in Central Arkansas up to Northwest Arkansas. So it's been pretty dope, and I love it. I love it.
Okay. Well, let's take a break and let's play a little game. So,
I'm already nervous.
Kiss, Mary, Kill. It's going to be very easy. Very easy. So, Tony, Kiss, Mary, Kill. Grunge, R&B, yacht rock.
Three genres I freaking love, by the way. Get me on my yacht rock. Kiss, Mary, Kill. Oh man.
Mhm.
I would marry R&B. I would.
Okay.
I love me some R&B. I would. Man, marry R&B. I would. uh, you know what? I will kiss grunge and I will kill yacht rock.
Why
Yeah,
would you kill yacht rock?
because I don't need it. That's why. I like having it,
Wow.
but I don't need ambrosia in my life. I'm good.
Mm-mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm-mm.
don't need the
Okay.
doobies. I'm good though.
Poor Michael Madonna.
That was a
Mm-mm-mm.
good one. That wasn't bad. I was nervous though,
All
but that
right.
wasn't bad.
All right. All right. So, Jerry,
Uh-huh.
Kiss, Mary, Kill.
Mm-hmm.
House music, disco, blue-eyed soul.
I would marry house music, kiss Blue Eyed Soul, and kill disco.
Y'all killing me, Smalls. Y'all killing me.
I
Y'all
mean, if
killing me.
anything, it's one of those things where there are some because when I guess when you say Blue Eyed Soul, the artists that I listen to, it's interesting that the term blue eyes. Of course, they don't always have blue eyes, but
Yes.
they're so blues influenced or blues adjacent the way they do the things. I'm just like, well, you know what? There's a connection when you sing a certain way and do these certain things. I'm thinking you know all your family because that's hitting me in a certain way, so yeah, that's why I say that. And I know that with disco, house just kind of was always something that spoke to me. Um, Sometimes disco could be really cheesy, but then again, I was that kid, and I'm going to go ahead and date myself for people who are watching. I was that kid who my cousins were watching Star Wars in another theater, and I was the kid running back from Thank God It's Friday because I just wanted to
Uh,
hear the songs. So yeah, I have dated myself. So for those who are aware, for those who don't, just use Wikipedia.
Tony just took a sip of beer because he was like, I don't know. I barely know what Star Wars is. I sure
Oh,
don't
Oh
know
no
what
no
Thank God
no!
It's Friday.
I know my Star Wars. Now the other
No,
thing, I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I figured. I figured so much.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know, Jerry, you talked about that Delta Dirt was probably one of your favorite um, episodes that you've had
This year.
for
This year.
this year.
Mhm.
Tony, do you have one for this year that just was like this was top tier for you?
Yeah. Another recent episode we did with Cozy Cold G out of Chicago. He happened to, I happened to, I know him personally, and it was two things: being able to just one, give Jerry a break during interviews, and two, just really just man, we was talking about. When I talk music, I'm able to just dive in deep, and I like the deep conversation that Cole and I had along with
Mm,
Jerry on that show, really dissecting not only his latest album but his previous two 3 pound beat tape albums, along with some other EPs that fell in between.
mm.
I love doing that kind of stuff. Um, when it comes to music, that's just this year. Gosh, there was, one of my I love. We did a three-parter of CeeLo. Gosh, when was it? Like a couple years ago now, Jerry. And then I ended up meeting CeeLo back in March of this year, while in
What?
Atlanta for work. Yeah, and I gave him my Modern Brews and Beats card. Told him to check out the show. So shout out CeeLo if he's listening. To Being Black and Craft, and if he does listen to Modern Brews and Beats, shout out to him. But he was
Yeah.
super dope. I told him about the three-part episode we did. Um, so I would have to say I I love music, but I love learning about um, the craft beverage world, distilling, coffee, beer, um, and as Jerry and I continue, the way I see it, there's no end here because it's just a plethora of things that we still don't know. Music is endless. Craft beverages, it seems like it's endless. Hell, we ain't even touched everything in Dallas yet. So I mean, that's just Dallas. Um, Still working on some things here in Arkansas, and that's just two states out of the 50. So um I
I
love when
have.
we talk music. I love when we talk music. I a jazz musician, Alex Tremblay out of New York. Um
Mm,
we talk about his albums, his album Thoughts and Images. That was his last one. He actually just recently dropped a single. I don't know if it's possibly for an upcoming album. I'll touch base with him on that, but it was dope. So just man, just digging in deep, and I want to, and Jerry and I both want to just really dig into the musician part of it, of Modern Brews and Beats. We can, of course, we can talk late ass album reviews and cool Tony D's top fives, all day, every day, and get you on the show, Angie, to discuss Super Bowl halftime shows and the weekend, your favorite artists. So um, that's what we love to do, and yeah, that to answer your
so
question, Cozy Cold G was one of my favorite episodes of this year.
so I wonder, okay, out of either in the craft world or an artist, if you could dream, who would be your next guest?
Ooh, we. Um, Garrett Oliver is an ideal person. If that ever, I'm blessed to have been to Brooklyn Brewery, did a tour, and we had a representative from Brooklyn Brewery on the show, and he happened to also be a music artist. He went by the artist name of Slow Mo, um, and he had a really good album that's on Spotify. And I'm sorry I don't have the name in front of me, but we had him on the show. And I drank a lot of beer in that brewery that day. And I was just reminiscing, like, dude, I wish Garrett Oliver was just walk in right now. So that would be man, that'd be dope if that could happen.
Now I will
One
say that I'm
Mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, while I was in Atlanta, I would have really, really, I should have tried harder at Atlanta, Kentucky with Nappy Roots. They
Yeah,
have a brewery there. I went to the
yeah, good
brewery.
beer.
It was dope. Yeah, yeah. I was a little tired from the workday, so really wasn't in the mode to really like get out there and get it going. But maybe in the future, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
No, I think one of Tony's interviews where he really went deep into, and this was, I say deep into music only because it was something that he didn't usually, I didn't know he was a really big fan of it. He had come back from Brooklyn, and I think he was talking about his favorite house music producers. And
Mhm.
and he went in on it. I was like going, Tony, well,
What you, I was sitting back talking, what you know about that?
Well,
it was good. It was a really good show.
Yes.
there's a lot of research in that
Hmm.
I love going down the music rabbit holes. And when I'm there, I'm like a dog in mud or a pig in mud in that way. I mean, I'm in it. And that house music stuff was amazing. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
So, Jerry, I want you to dream
Hmm.
and tell me who, as far as like in the craft world or the music world, that
Hmm.
you would love to have as your next guest if it wasn't, nothing was holding it back.
That could go a lot of different places. So I had a conversation, and it's interesting. She just dropped a new album. I had a conversation with Ndombi on my
Hmm.
previous podcast. She just dropped a new album, Dream Walker. I think that is the name of the album that she just dropped. I have it on my Bandcamp page, and I would love to talk to her about this new album because Ndombi's had, I mean, as far as Dallas vocalists that have gone and done different things,
Mhm.
she's made a lot of different projects. Some here with Mandaku Chenwa, who actually produced the new record, and then she's done some things in LA. She was working with Leon Silvers um, on one of her EPs, and so I just love to kind of know, kind of where she's at, musically, all the different things she sees going on. She even did that one record, Air Castle, with All Cows Eat Grass, um, and I really enjoyed that album too. So, just would love to have a conversation with her on Modern Brews and Beats, and if she enjoys craft beverages, beer, cider, kombucha, whatever, that'll be a fun conversation too. Just kind of how she got into that. I
Mhm.
always love to know. I mean, I think there's so many people. Like we just spoke with. I just spoke with Friction Brent Anderson, who is with Friction Beer in Kansas. Used to be used to do A&R for a record label in the '90s, and so got a lot of other things going on there. So it's just all the ways that music and beer, because they're two creative things, right? Just kiss, and I love to get that conversation.
Okay.
If I can add one more, really two more. Um, these are artists that I've recently fell in love with. Jerry probably knows where I'm going here, but Leon Bridges, he's a bad man. He came a long way because I wasn't the biggest fan of when he first came out, but I would love to have Leon. That's a dream. And Crumbin out of Houston. Um, I love him, love him, love him, love him. I would love to. That would be a, I don't know. I probably would never end that episode. We just that would, Jerry had to break that up into several parts.
Okay. Okay. Well, we have one last game before we go. So let's play some beer sports.
All right.
So
We
you
don't want
know,
to talk cowboy stuff, by the way. There's any cowboy
I,
stuff on here.
I
I
mean,
don't want to talk about it.
that's one thing that I really did. I forgot that was one of my questions
Yeah,
was
you brought it up. Great.
if you really do enjoy losing, or is it just you have an epiphany for failure? I didn't know which one it was.
I don't know either. Next subject though. Go keep going.
Okay, so we're gonna play some beer sports. So you're presented with a known sports player, and you're gonna match the person with a craft or coffee style. All right.
Okay.
So let's go. So first person, Barry Bonds. Who would who would you add him to as far as like what kind of beer style or coffee would you have him to drink, Tony? What do you think he drinks?
Uh, a cop out answer, but it'd probably be some type of West Coast IPA because he would play for the San Francisco Giants. That's where he, to be honest with you, he was actually a badass baseball player before he even went to San Francisco. But
Mm-hmm.
that's where he really put himself on the map. And yes, he is the home run king. I don't care what people say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, something hoppy, because he likes to knock the ball out the parks. So give me the West Coast, give me the danky, give me that little piney. I don't know. I've never been to San Francisco. I've never been to the Bay Area. So
You gotta get
a
out
cop
there.
out answer would be the West Coast IPA for sure.
I agree. A West Coast IPA or an Imperial IPA. That's
Mm.
really piney, resiny. I can see
All
that.
right. Angel Reese.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hmm.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
What do you think,
Um,
Gary?
Well, it's a beer. Um, I wonder. Trying to think if she would be a lager woman. Because a good black lager or a Schwartz beer um, would be kind of cool and lighter, because I didn't necessarily want to go to anything like Berliner Weiss or fruity or something like that. I thought like maybe a good, nice black lager um,
Okay.
in my mind. What are you thinking, Tony?
well, her nickname is the Bayou Barbie because she went to LSU. So I was thinking something light also. But now she's up in Chicago playing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I like your description of it. She's an amazing talent. I don't know. I don't
She can
know.
get into that Coors. She can get into that Kolsch by Moors.
She could. There we go.
Get
I
into that
like that.
Yeah.
Kolsch.
I think
Mm-hmm.
she would represent very, very well.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
Come on,
Tony,
man. Man,
coffee or beer?
give
What do you
him
drink?
some. Give him some Powerade since he hurt now, hamstring issues and stuff. Man, go and sit somewhere, Dak. Oh man, I don't know.
A golden stout.
Give him a golden style or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I can
Right.
see
He
him drinking
rich.
real
He can
gold.
buy us all stuff. So I don't know, man. Oh Dak. Oh Dakota. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And
I
yet
mean, we really
oh,
he needs just a good he needs like a good I don't know. If I had to go like coffee for him, I'm gonna say like some type of vanilla latte. He could I really don't know. I don't know, Dak.
I mean, I can see him do it. I can see him doing a golden stout. I mean, it's nice
Golden
little,
Stout.
um, what's the one that what's name used to have that Armadillo used to have? Brunch money.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
brunch money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Armadillo, man. Rest in peace, Armadillo.
Yeah. Recipe Armadillo for
All
sure.
right. We're gonna keep it in Dallas. Kyrie Irving. Is he still over
Keeping it yes, he's still playing for the team. Mr. Flat Earth himself.
Mm.
You know what? Prior to him coming to Dallas, I loved his talent, but wasn't the biggest fan. Kyrie is the kind of guy. He's so unique. I don't never say weird. He's unique. I don't see him drinking beer, so I want to give him like a nice pour over, some type of coffee bean, hazelnutish, sipping in the corner kind of guy. Very, very. He's not. He's a different cat, man. If you ever hear his interviews, but one of the best basketball talents in the NBA, who
Isn't
has
there such?
some. Mhm.
No, I was gonna say, isn't there such a drink as a coffee of flat, like a white flat coffee?
I'm not familiar. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
I think there is.
Yeah, I
It's
would
one
give
thing I'm
Kyrie
also
something
give
like
the
that.
coffee to Tony. I'm like, well, Tony, tell me about the coffee you're drinking. I'm usually just like, give me a tall, um, black, no cream, just a little sugar, but that's
There you
it.
go.
I was thinking
Yeah,
about
good.
that, or either a porter, because a porter doesn't have, especially Shalonda, she hates porters because it's kind of flat. She thinks it's like it has no substance. So,
See, but a porter can have substance, but I know that it was Shalondra. When she says that, I'm like going, it can. I just want to get you the right one, so you can just kind of go like, wow. But I think if I get her one, she'll probably call it. It's a stout. It's a stout. So I feel that.
Brittany Grinder.
Brittany. Um, an athlete that we all should be, especially Texas folks, man. We should be praising her more because she was a game changer. She really, really was. And not just hanging out in Russia, game changer. She was a game changer in basketball.
Oh man, I was gonna work on that Russia thing because I mean a Russian Imperial Stout, but maybe not.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
I don't know. Russian Imperial Stout. She probably. I don't know. I don't think
I
she had too much of a
mean,
good time over there.
she 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 gives that she could drink something strong. So if not
Hmm.
a stout, maybe a barley wine. I can see it with a
Ooh, there you
barley
Okay.
wine
go.
or a wheat wine. I
Okay.
can see that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm probably not gonna say his name right. Akil Bado.
Baseball player for the Detroit Tigers, I'm thinking.
Hmm.
Um, they're in the Central Division. Sorry, I'm talking sports here. They're not in the East with Baltimore, are they, Jerry? Detroit's in the Central, right? I think they're in the Central. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I see him. I know I don't see. I don't know. Probably like a maybe a pale ale or something. I really don't know. I don't know.
What
Not
about
much
you,
of
Jerry?
a
What you
Tigers
think?
fan.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I could see him going with a pale ale or something like that. But you said, what did you say, Tony?
I was saying a pale ale or something like
I
that.
can see him rolling with a pale ale. Something I just sees him a quick, light, and refreshing. I honestly, when I first saw him, I thought about Tony's favorite non-craft drink, but Modelo. And I said, I can see that.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
got some at the house, brother. Got some at the house.
Aja Wilson.
Oh yes.
What about the beer though?
Um,
What's going on?
Right?
let me see here. I can see her maybe doing like a sour. I
Okay.
heard she's really sweet, really nice, and a little sour. She plays hard though. Sometimes those sours can just hit you hard after after
Get
the
you right
fact.
here.
But it's a really nice little. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where it gets you at. But no, gosh, yeah. She's a hell of a talent too. I give her a
Mhm.
sour.
You know, I could almost. I mean, I could see with a certain type of sour, almost a lighter sour, not the big tummy rolling sours. But honestly,
Mhm.
I could also see her just as well with a Run Wild by Athletic, which is their, IPA, sort of a
Hmm.
non-alcoholic
Oh, okay,
craft.
dope. Yeah,
So I can see
yeah,
that as well.
I can see that.
Hmm.
And our last one, not a player, but a winner in our hearts, Ellie the Elephant.
Yeah, WNBA champs. Right on. Shout out to them. Um, I saw Spike Lee was sitting courtside, and by the way, I was at a birthday party with Spike Lee last year just by pure accident in New York. And I was starstruck, and I couldn't get words out of my mouth, and I missed my chance to meet him. But anyway, um,
Mhm.
cheers to them. I don't know New York. I don't know. Let me see. Let me think. New York. You
What
don't
think
want
about
nothing
the
heavy because
elephant?
you. Well, I don't know. I don't know. The elephant looks to be in shape because all the walking you have to do up there in New York. So I don't know. Probably something light. Um, I really don't know here. Probably an
I'm thinking
iced
something
coffee,
with peanut
honestly.
butter.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, peanut butter. Because peanuts. That's that's why I was thinking peanut butter. What are you thinking, Jerry?
That's interesting. Okay, yeah, with a peanut butter. I don't know about, but I don't know if I could do if she do a peanut butter stout. I mean, that'd be a little bit too much. Huh?
She looks a little sassy. I don't know. Got her hands on the
Yeah.
hips.
If you're
Drink
gonna
a
do it, if you're gonna
martini,
do a
bro.
peanut butter porter or something like that, maybe.
Peanut butter porter.
Um, yeah, if you're gonna go that route, sure. That I could see that rolling. Yeah, peanut butter porter probably because I mean I'm thinking something like pup stouty, like 5-6%.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank y'all for playing. I knew it wasn't going to be too hard. I knew that I had to get something kind of sportsy in there for y'all, so y'all won't feel like you've been on a girly podcast.
What, Angie? One, thank you for having us in the mix, and we definitely know you've been. It's interesting, just in the same time that you'd always known spirits and different things like that, and then how you've been really embracing craft beer and bringing stories from people who look like us to life and doing it through your podcast. And so I really thank you for the opportunity to be on your show and just happy to be here and in this mix. So really appreciate
Well, thank you. Definitely. It was definitely a pleasure to be on the other side here,
it.
talking to y'all and not, being a day one of Modern Brews and Beats.
Although
It's
you
good.
are.
Hmm.
Yes, it's good to have y'all over here on this side of the world.
So,
Even Tony.
Thank you.
Glad to have
Well,
even have Tony here.
thank you for
So
having us for sure.
So we're going to check out. Just give me a second and we'll say our good nights. And thank you again for coming to Being Black and Craft. Tell the audience your handles and how they can hear you.
Yeah.
sure. It's Modern Brews and Beats. We're available wherever you listen to audio podcasts. So Apple, Spotify, Pocket Cast, we're even on Patreon. So just feel free to follow us on all of those platforms. And if you're liking what you hear, please leave a review. That would always be great to get reviews for the show. You can follow us on Instagram, Modern Brews and Beats, all one phrase. You can follow us on X if you can deal with all the stuff going on with X right now.
Well, it's
Um,
rough, man.
with M Brews Beats on X, formerly Twitter.
Okay. All right. See y'all in a little bit.